I still got some bifaces to work on. I still got to do this one. Let's see. Got to do this one and the other ones. Hopefully by the auction. You know, I only got a day and a half or 2 half days. Half of today. Well, let's see. Less than half of today. Yeah, this one will be tricky. It'll take me a little bit longer than usual. Yep. A little bit longer than usual because it is very smashy on the edges. Even with a lot of grinding and abrading, it still smashes the edge easily. The percussion tools, maybe even the pressure flaking will be crunchy. But I'll do mostly percussion with very little pressure on this. Why? Because it's less fatiguing. There's a lot of flaking to do. It's not going to be fancy flaking. It's just going to be regular flaking, but there's a lot of it. Because I'm just going to take it slow. It's going to look a little bit more flakery than usual, probably. But it doesn't matter. I want to make sure I've got plenty of thickness so it won't snap in half. Take little flakes so I don't stress it too much. That sort of thing. I don't want to break that blade. I want to offer it in the auction tomorrow. Or Monday. I should specify Monday because this video might not upload until tomorrow, or might not be uploaded until tomorrow. Right now it's Sunday for me, but who knows? Who knows what could happen overnight? A lot of times I try to upload these overnight while I'm asleep, and then I wake up and it's not uploaded. I try to go to sleep early on most nights just in case I have to get up in the middle of the night. Yeah. Just in case. So, what do I talk about while I do all this tedious napping? Why can't I do a regular pattern on this? Well, because a lot of times it gets messed up. I can usually have one good flake. That's not a problem. 2 good flakes in a row. Chances are pretty good. 3 good flakes in a row. I don't know. It's like a 50-50 chance. 4 good flakes in a row. That's like a 10% chance. And 5 good flakes in a row. I don't know. That's pushing it. Yep. Very small chance of success. The more flakes I try to do in a row, the less chance will actually be. I mean, the chances diminish as I go. Why? Because there's always something that messes up. Unless it's perfect. Unless the surface is perfect. Like you can get the surface perfect with flake over grind. That's why they do it. To make the surface perfect. But when you have random or just regular flaking, even if it has a pattern to it, if the surface is not completely smooth and perfectly convex, you never know. You're still rolling the dice. You try to get the surface as smooth as possible. Well, I am going to try to get it as smooth as possible so that I can run nice flakes, but it's not always possible. Yeah. Sometimes the flakes don't go anywhere. And it's the same striking every time. I strike it the same way every time. Same technique. Looks like the same opportunities. But just the little differences make all the difference. Okay, so everybody knows that. Everybody knows those rules already. What can I impart that is new? What is new out there? Anything? What about this fancy ceramic stuff that people are looking at knapping nowadays? I think it's a good thing. I think that is the future of knapping, or it's in knapping's future. Maybe not the future of all knapping, because the stone is going to be mined. Yeah. And we'll have plenty of it once we get some mining operations going, or somebody does. Where's the band-aids? I'm already making a mess. Yeah, see, I'm already making a mess, and I just barely started. Yeah. That one got me pretty good. The thumb has bigger veins or whatever. Yeah, so the thumb. You get the thumb, and you're going to get messy. Yeah. I still feel some flakes. Yeah, I'm going to get some new gloves here next week. Where did I do? Where did I do with it? Anyway, I'm going to get some new gloves next week. I like the golf gloves, but they don't last. So if I'm going to get stuff that's going to be disposable, I might as well just get the cheap ones. Go to Harbor Freight and get the cheap stuff. And, eventually I'll figure out what my favorite types of gloves are and just stick with that. I haven't figured out a good favorite yet. Or haven't chosen a good favorite. Should I put my glove on? I should. I don't want to. Because it takes away from the feel. I was doing good there. I was not messing up. But now I lose a little bit of the feeling for the stone. With the gloves on, I gotta get rid of some lumps and damage control it. This is gonna be a damage control stage right now. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? Before I was so crudely interrupted. Yes, crudely. There we go. Still have an issue. Got a remnant. Get the Nacho-Matic. Someone's going to say, get the Nacho-Matic. Do it. Take out that step. Yeah. It sometimes works. The Nacho, but a lot of times it'll just dive right in or split the piece in half. Because it's a very powerful tool. What is the Nacho-Matic? I've got a video on it. I think it's in the title. I think I got a video with Nacho-Matic in the title, but if I don't, let me know. Somebody. Or I'll just look it up if I remember. They are available for sale If you don't know what it is, just ask me in the comments section. I'll give you a link. It's a handy tool. Pick them up for Christmas. Yeah. Get them for your favorite insane person. I mean napper. Yeah. It's looking okay, but this stuff is very crunchy. Yeah. I'm trying to blast my way through some of these steppy areas, but it's a dicey proposition. Yes, it is. It shouldn't be because it's obsidian. But it's not, I mean, it's easy to flake. It's just not easy to make. It's easy to flake a biface. It's just not easy to make the biface. Does that make sense? No? It makes sense if you're a flint napper. This stuff chips extremely easily. But look what it does. You know, it doesn't chip smoothly. Get a bunch of crud. I'm trying to hit on areas that look good. See, it doesn't want to be thin and complete. Once the flakes get really thin, they don't want to be whole flakes. They want to disintegrate. Yeah, so it's brittle. In other words, this material is very brittle. Yeah. Usually obsidian is highly flexible, but this is unusual. And as luck would have it, this is an awesome looking obsidian, but oftentimes the prettiest stuff is the hardest stuff to knap. Yeah. Very often. Look at that long flake. If I knew how I did that, I could do more of it, but I don't know how those happen. Probably just following a ridge. Yeah. I don't remember if there was a prominent ridge there or not. I'm just trimming this because I got to lose width anyway. Because that bite from earlier, does it have a sheen to it? A little bit? No? Yeah, a little bit. So the moral of the story when knapping this is it should be knapped with large flakes. Yeah, when you start getting persnickety and you're producing thin flakes, they don't hold together. They get all steppy and they don't like to terminate well. That's like the worst situation possible, other than snap and halving. Snap and halving? Yeah. Other than snap and halving, when thin flakes want to get all steppy, that's bad. Because the final finishing is with thin flakes. So you could have beautiful thick flake removals, and then once you start getting to the thin flakes, it starts to get steppy. Which is, you know, it's a common problem with any material. But with something like this, it's even more of a problem because of its brittleness. Highly brittle. Yeah. You might say, well, just, okay, take the width off, keep it thick, and then knock off big flakes. and thick flakes, and you're all set. Why don't you just do it? Because see what happened earlier when I tried to take a big thick flake? There's a chance it can take a bite out of the edge. So I get it real narrow, take thick flakes, and all of a sudden, boom, a big bite out of the edge. And I got to put it in the broken bifaces because it's too narrow now with that big bite taken out. That's why. So I have to try to get used to the material to the extent that I don't get bad terminations. Like this one here, that one of the last ones I just took. See, the terminations are okay. So I'll get used to what it can do. And then hopefully produce some nice thin non-steppy flakes. That's a better solution than to try to narrow it first and then take big chunker flakes that could take bites out of the edge. Got it? Got it. Yeah, you got it. You get it. You got it. You get it. Yep. You're going to understand it. You understand it? No? It's okay. Believe it or not, you don't need to understand anything to nap well. No? Because the brain takes over. You do it enough times and you don't even know how you're doing it. So you don't need to know nothing. No. The brain takes over. And you start napping well. So don't fight your brain. If you don't nap well, just keep doing it. Eventually your brain will take over and you'll go, I don't even know how I'm doing it. It's just a miracle. It's kind of spooky. You don't like it? Yeah, you might not like how spooky the brain can get. It just does it. Some people don't like it when they do something, but they're really not in full control. They're like, wait, what is happening? I need to be conscious of everything. Yeah, well, most things, it's advantageous, yeah, to be conscious of everything. But with, crafts and skills, don't worry about it. We've been chipping rocks for millions of years as humans. So the brain knows. It knows. Even though you don't, it does know. Even though you don't take care of your health, your body is consistently and constantly trying to fight off infections and all that when you're not looking. You're not even paying attention. You have no idea how many microbes and bacteriums and viruses your body kills every second. It's a killing machine. You don't even know. Well, we know now, but we didn't back then. Back in the day, we didn't know what was going on. But the brain still did it, and the body still did it. Still protected us from infections and all that. So don't worry about it. Just nap and nap and nap and nap, and then eventually, after doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, you will get different results. Yep. The definition of insanity is doubling down when you're presented with facts. Again, in contradiction to what you're thinking. You double down when presented with facts. That's insanity. You double down on what you believed before, even when confronted with facts to the contrary. That's insanity. Okay? You know the difference now? Okay. Okay, I took a big old flake, but, oh yeah, it did go. Look at that. I'm going to make another mess. Oh, that one's not too bad. It's from flipping flakes. Yeah, from flipping. Like that. Some people cringe when I do that, thinking that I'm going to get some obsidian under my fingernail. Just don't worry about it. Yes, I will get obsidian under my fingernail sometimes. It's okay. I know how to deal with it. I'm what you call a professional. Sure. I'm not even checking to see if this is focused. I haven't checked yet. It's already 21 minutes. It looks focused every time I look at it. Yeah. There's still a misunderstanding about that. You know, people say that you can affect something just by observing it. And that some people say, well, there's something out there observing the whole universe, affecting how it operates by observation. That's how far it's going. That's how far that theory is going. But there's a misinterpretation and misunderstanding. There's a fundamental misunderstanding of what's going on. And it doesn't take long for you guys, if you want to do the research, it doesn't take long to ask questions and find out that it's not your observation that you normally would think of as an observation that affects others or affects other things just by observing it. The observations that they're talking about that affect something else at a distance, that type of observation actually interacts with the phenomenon in order to get a measurement or something that is the observation. It's not simply the observation, it's the recognition of a light source, a light wavelength, the measurement of the white light wavelength. All these things are interactions with the phenomenon. It's not simply an observation. It's an interaction. The term observation within science implies an interaction. That's what it is. And of course, if you interact with something, you're going to affect it. The term observation within science implies an observation and some sort of measurement. Okay? A collection of some sort of data. And you can't do that without some sort of interaction with the phenomenon. Yeah. So it's an interaction. It's not simply an observation. That what we think of as an observation. Okay? Okay. Clear? Clear. You can look it up. I'm not making it up. But people don't look it up because they want to be able to affect something at a distance just by looking at it. Yeah. Because it feels powerful. Yeah. Sorry to burst the bubble. So sorry. Isn't science cool? Yeah. Science is cool as long as you don't misinterpret it. Happens a lot these days. The final evening tolls on the bell. After this hour, they don't toll anymore until the morning. So they do a little encore. As far as I know. I live just down the street from an not Orthodox, a Catholic church. It's only like 2 houses down from me. 2 or 3 houses down. I gotta admit, it's much better than living next to a hospital like I did down in Texas. Well, I wasn't next to the hospital, but I was within half a mile or so, and then ambulances would come by all the time. Mess up my videos. Much rather have bells than ambulances. Yeah, so I think those are the last bells of the night, and then we won't hear them again until morning. I think they start around 6 a.m. I could come out here and start napping at 6 a.m. How does that? I'm up at that hour. Not that I want to be. Any little noise wakes me up these days. Yeah. What in the wide, wide world of Flintknapping wakes me up at that hour when I don't have to get up? Sometimes there's a little woodpecker that pecks on the wood outside, and it sounds like it's knocking on our door. We got some cedar wood outside under the front door, under the front door covering. What do they call that? I don't know. It's like covering to the entrance. There's a little roof right there. Underneath that little roof is some cedar paneling that the birds and the bugs like to get into. The bugs get into it, then the birds go after the bugs. And yeah, I sprayed it heavily with insecticide. But no, as soon as that insecticide starts to wear off, they're back at it. Bugs and birds, bugs and birds. At this time of year, they're out of business. Yeah, they do something else. But that's just one thing that would wake me up. At that hour, some of those woodpeckers, they come out right at the break of dawn. Start their day. They're pecking on my porch. Isn't nature great? It's wonderful. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do. This is getting to be nerve-wracking. See, normally I don't have issues with it stepping at an angle like that. I don't know what it's doing. It's common. It did it there, and then there. What is it doing? it's the layers. It could be the layers. See that? Inconsistency in the layering. Right there, right there. It looks like it follows the layering. Yeah, so that's an issue. That's a problem. What's a problem? P-R-O-L-E-M. It's one of those things that are only in Flintknapping. Problems that are only occurring in Flintknapping. I got a special name for them. They're called problems. Yeah, so when it gets to the when it comes to the layering in this stuff, there's inconsistencies. Yeah. That's what it is. Dang it. And let me see, I gotta fight it. Yeah, see, when I try to... Yeah, that's what it is. I try to get through the layer right there. I just tested it to see what it would do. It doesn't nap through that easily. Man. Okay. I see. So even if you ground this down with a perfect surface, you'd still run into problems with the layers. Yeah. Unless I'm the only one that has that kind of problem. It wouldn't surprise me to be the only one that has a problem with it like that. Because the tweaks are too subtle. My napping tweaks are too subtle. They get affected by almost anything that's an obstacle. Maybe. My flakes are so thin that any little defect affects the napping. That one was okay. Yeah, but that was thick. Thicker, I mean, than the usual. I'm trying to shave off these tater chip thin flakes. And it's not working out. No. I don't like the tater chips. Who doesn't like tater chips? I like them. I just don't eat them anymore, but I still like them. Stupid Obsidian don't like no chips. Don't like this thin tater chip flakes. Oh, that's going to get ugly. It's already getting ugly. It's not going to. It already got there. Yeah, I heard some funny expressions today. One of them was, that looks like it's been rolled hard and hung up wet. Yeah, this looks like it's been rolled hard and hung up wet. Look at that, it's all nasty. I don't know. I'm trying to be patient with it, but I'm losing my patience. Yep. See what it did? See what it did? It did that. I tried to run this over here, right? What did it do? I think it did that just now, because I don't know. Or maybe it did this. It just ran a little flake right there, and it should have taken more off. Maybe. whatever it is, it doesn't look good. I'm trying to get it smoother. Yes or no? Is it going to do it? Am I going to be able to get used to it? No. No sense in even trying to get used to it. Just give up and put this in the brokes and bifaces? I probably should. I don't like doing these anyway. If I put this in the brooks and bifaces, it'll be by far the longest one that I've ever put in there. Oh, dang it. What is that? It's doing all kinds of stupid stuff, so I might just do that. I might just put it in the brooks and bifaces. Yeah. Someone might be able to use it for something if I can get that crack out of there. There's a crack up in here too. This stuff doesn't want to cooperate at all. And I'm trying to be gentle and nice. But no, it doesn't appreciate it. I need to look up some more funny expressions. That way I can adapt them to Flintknapping. Yeah. This is beginning to look like it fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down. That's an old one. Hit a branch right there. Yeah, I face it. Falls out of any tree is going to look ugly if it hits a branch. Yep. Don't need to be no ugly tree. Any tree. Yep. That's true. See, it can behave sometimes, but it's got to be in the right direction. And with the right amount of layering. If it's got too much layering, or if I'm in the if I'm in the wrong spot of the layering, it doesn't work right. Now, where's that crack? It's right there, or what is it? What is it that makes that look ugly? I can't figure out what that is. So the moral of this story is don't try to get this stuff too thin. Yeah. This is not for thin points. Nope. Although it can get thin, I don't recommend it. Some clowns out there go, I've seen someone knap that get it real thin, so what you talking about? I'm just saying I don't recommend it. I'm not saying it can't be done. There's a difference. You're just saying that as an excuse. I know that it doesn't mean the same thing, but you're just using that as an excuse. Yeah, okay. I've seen someone do it. So you can't say I don't recommend it. Alrighty. Mm-hmm. Did it work? Kinda did. Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to stop as soon as I look around. If there's nothing else I can do that's easy peasy, I'm just going to put this in the brooks and bifaces. Because I don't like that. The way that turned out right there. And there's no way to get rid of that unless I strike it from this other side. But that's dicey. It's too dicey. Yeah. Because I could take a bite out of the edge. Remember, there's a trade-off. You got to operate in the Goldilocks zone. You can't strike too hard or you get a bite taken out. And you can't strike too softly because the flakes are too thin and they'll step. Or they won't go anywhere. They'll just stop. And then there's layering. Taking a thick flake may or may not work right because it did some weird stuff in here. There's still some weird waveriness going on in this area here where there's different layers, or especially this little stuff, these blobs that are in this layering. Even here you get this weirdness. The side looks better, but it's still kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to leave it like this and put it in the brooks and bifaces. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to mess with it. Someone else can mess with it. Yeah. And, yeah, I'm not going to take that out because someone might like it just like this. And if I try to take that out and break it, the person who likes it is not going to get a chance to get it. So there. That's it. Final answer. What is this one? It's got bands in it. Brian started napping on it and got it pretty good. Did pretty good. But I'm going to refine it. I'm going to regularize it. It's a little bit wonky. Yeah. Yeah, just indirect percussionize it. What's the diameter of this rod? I think this one's 5/16 and this one's 3/8. I usually use a 3/8 when I'm doing this I was using the smaller diameter one on the big blade because I don't want to break the big blade. There's a lot more pulling going on with the 3/8 inch flaker. Someone might say, I thought all that time you were using the 3/8. No. Now I'm all messed up. Yeah, I know. I know. But don't worry. The brain will take over and you don't have to worry so much. Don't worry that much. Just, now that you know, just switch. And, your brain will adapt. It may take a little while to get used to the bigger flaker, but the more you nap, the quicker you can adjust. So just nap. Don't worry so much. Just keep napping and doing the same thing over and over again until you get different results. Yeah, because that's not insanity. That's called practice. Okay? Okay. Don't listen to popular culture. I'm reading a book now on crowds. Yeah, crowds can be great, and crowds can also be very bad. Crowdfunding is great. But crowd pleasing is not. Yeah, to please a crowd, you're getting into some nasty territory. Yep. Dangerous. Dangerous politics. Crowds don't think like regular people. And it seems to be there seems to be a crowd mind, or people in crowds act differently. Than if they were by themselves. Yeah. So there's like a hive mind or a crowd mind that takes over and people follow it. There's some kind of weird thing that goes on where a bunch of people are following an idea or a conduct that's not rational. Doesn't make sense, but it appeals to people in a group. Yeah. Or it catches on because there is a group. You get swept up by it, or can't resist and go along with it. And people who study crowds and how to manipulate crowds often do not have good intentions. Yeah, I've been studying that. Yeah, and you can get caught up in all kinds of weird ideas when a lot of people are talking about it, and you're thinking to yourself, this idea seems to be pretty popular. I think I'll join the consensus. Yeah. I mean, I know it doesn't make that much sense, really, but I mean, all these people, are they all wrong? They couldn't be all wrong because they're all believing in it. Yeah. Dangerous territory. Serious business. So, I don't know how I got onto that, but I think it's because don't follow the crowd. Yeah, do it. Don't go by the popular conception of insanity. As an example, I joke about that, but it's just an example of an idea that the crowd likes to hear, but doesn't make any sense. Do something over and over again until you get different results. It's perfectly fine. But if you in a group, they all go, "Yeah, that's insanity, man." No, it's not. It just sounds like insanity when you're with a bunch of people. They all go, "Isn't that true? That's so true. Oh, it's so true. Don't you think so? Oh, I think so. Me too. I think so. Why do we think so? Because we're all thinking so. We think that way because we're all thinking so." It's a weird thing. Anyways. And then you say something like, "Insanity is when you're confronted with facts, but you don't care." And the crowd goes, "Shut up." See? Nerd. Yeah. Whose facts are you talking about? Are you talking about the real facts or are you talking about alternate facts? Huh? And stuff like that. It just gets stupid. Be wary of crowds, except for crowdfunding. Yeah. That's cool. A lot of things wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for crowdfunding. Yeah, so I can't talk smack about it too much. Okay. I'm trying to thin it down and it doesn't want to. It wants to do some weird stuff. Again. Weird stuff, Obsidian. What is it? Some kind of challenge or something? You're trying to challenge me or something? Must be. It wants to be diving. It wants to be scooping. I don't know. There it is. Yeah. Lucky. Who would luck 2 lucky ones in a row? That's not very common. Well, yeah, there is a good chance to get 2 good ones in a row. This third one, though, I don't know. See, it didn't do it. It almost did it. Come on. Can I pick it out? No? Let's see. Yeah. Well, it's not too bad. It did do some of what I was thinking it would do. Yeah. I don't know. Make a Clovis. No, I'm not making no more Clovises on video for a while. I might make a something, you know, paleo point without the fluting. Yeah. Like a plain view type point. Yeah. Unfluted Clovis. Because there was such a thing. Not everyone was crazy bunker beans. Yeah. There's some people that didn't go along with the crowd and said, I'm not going to put those stinking flutes on it. Yeah. You don't need no stinking flutes. Because I'm not part of you guys. I'm not a follower of crowds. So I'm not going to put no stinking flutes. That's what they used to say. Right? You see a Clovis without a flute, that's a free thinker. Yep. No, dude, those are called plain views. Okay, fine. I'm not going to argue. Not with that level of comment. Yeah. Do you even know what a rock is? Yeah. I'll take your word for it. Is obsidian a rock? Can I say I'm napping a rock right now? Or no? Yes or no? Okay, so am I going to make a paleo out of this? I don't like the way it's progressing. If it looks a little bit better in a little bit, I'll do a lens sealant. But if it doesn't start looking better, I think this has grain in it also. If it doesn't start looking better soon, forget it. Broke some byfaces. The box needs to be filled. Yeah. I need stuff to put in there. Come on. There you go. Dang, there's a lot of weird contours. Oh, come on. You're not going to do that, are you? I think it is going to do that. Dang it. See, there's a little bridge there. I don't know if you can tell. See, it does this little bridge thing where I try to get the step fracture from the other side, and it stops right before the step fracture, and it creates a little bridge. Of course, the little land bridge allows the animals and the peoples to go from one continent to the next, That's a land bridge. But I don't like it on my Flintknapping. I don't like no buffalo jumps or land bridges on my Flintknapping. Nope. What's a buffalo jump on the Flintknapping? It's just a very high step fracture. Yeah. It's not one of those little bitty step fractures. It's one of the bigger ones. Still don't get it? That's all right. Don't worry about it. You don't need to know that to be a good flint napper. You don't need to know much of anything. Luckily, yeah. Because if you had to know too much, it might not be an enjoyable hobby. Yeah. If it was too strenuous as far as what you need to know. I mean, you can fill your mind with all kinds of subtleties and try to memorize all the tweaks and, study all the variations in the flakes and the tools and materials if you're into that sort of thing, but you don't need to know any of that. No. Everything is the same angles and forces, just little tweaks, and it scales. Bigger tools for bigger points, smaller tools for smaller points. And you can make arrowheads out of little bitty flakes like this, or big, huge, gigantic boulders. And they have the same flaking scars look to them as long as you scale up the tools and the forces. The angles are all the same. Just except little subtle tweaks. And the edges are all the same, except little subtle tweaks, depending on material and all that. I won't get into everything that it can entail, because you don't need to know any of that. You just go by feel. How does it feel when you're napping? You don't need to know the technicalities in a scientific way. Eventually you'll have an intuitive feel for it. If you want to get into all that, fine. I'm not going to say that it's bad. It's just not necessary. That's all. Will it mess up your Flintknapping if you start to research it? That's a good question. I think sometimes it does mess with your brain. Because what you think is going on might not be what is actually going on. And what you're reading in books on Flintknapping is not actually what's going on with the flaking. Some Flintknapping books and texts are useless. Yep. Hate to say it. Useless as far as learning how to Flintknap. Now, it might not be useless in discussing what kind of tools do what, but the actual skill of Flintknapping, might suffer if you get confused by a book. Yeah. Or if there's too much information. And you misinterpret something, or you think something is, oh, that's what it is, because the book said it was that. And then you start napping in a different way, and you're going, I must need a lot of practice with this particular method. That's why I'm messing up, right? And you keep messing up, keep messing up, keep messing up, and you're going, no, it's not the method. It's not that I'm misunderstanding. It's like the method, it's not within reality. Yeah. Like what? What kind of methods are not within reality? The method that says you can do the impossible with bad material. How do they do it? Must have been a crazy, super duper, superpower method. No, there's no secrets or super duper superpower methods. The material just wasn't all that hard to nap. It might look that way, but it wasn't. It might have been hard to nap for some nappers, but that particular napper didn't find it difficult. Because if he did, he wouldn't be able to nap it. It's simple. It's apparently too simple for some people. Yeah, and the thing is, if it's really, really difficult to nap, it's not worth it. Because you're using these things for survival. What does it do you to go hungry, learning how to nap, when you don't have to? Besides, back in the day, you needed to reproduce. You don't have time to be doing this. You got families and stuff. Either you're part of a family or you're screwed. You're out of luck. You got to participate in other things, not just sit around and nap all day. Now, of course, it might have been people that sat around and napped all day, but it was rare, right? You have to have a large group for that so that everybody can give you a little bit of food so it doesn't really hurt anybody. Everyone can pitch in just a little bit. The crowdfunding that I was talking about. Yeah, you can crowdfund a napper back in the day. Fine, that particular napper may have had time to nap all day. But that's it. But what about the geniuses? There were geniuses that could nap anything and they still have families. Yeah. Probably so. We always have a genius somewhere. I just wish they were in the comment section. Okay. All right, so that's what I'm going to do with the thinning, right? No, I still got a little bit more. Okay, hold on. I still see some lumpage. I don't like what I'm seeing because it's not that easy to get rid of those, but let's just pick at it a little bit more. Because it's easier to do with percussion. As long as I don't mess it up. did I do? Starting to install a curve. Hold on. I was getting too carried away with looking at lumps when I realized that if I continue in that path, I was going to install a curve. All right, so the object is not to put curves in it. I mean, it doesn't hurt it all that much, but still. Don't want to get into bad habits. Yeah, that was good. Why was it good? Big bold flake. Although the flake scars were not bad on that side. I just rather have big bold flakes. Yeah, well, sometimes. I'm trying to get rid of the curve. Okay. See, I want to get it as flat and tapered as possible. Why? Because I have artism. I don't know why. It's not necessary. And I want to do it for the video. I looked up artism, believe it or not. It's a thing. It's a slang, but it is a thing. In case you don't know. I didn't make it up. Okay. Is it going to get really crunchy or not? I hope not. Although it is crunchy right there. I gotta be sneaky. Don't tell it what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to uncrunch it. But don't tell anybody. Some of you might be saying, I liked it the way it was before. Why did you mess with it? Because I like to mess. Yep. I like to mess with it. See what I can get away with. Yeah. Come on. No, I dropped the microphone. I set the microphone on top of the phone. Well, it's sort of on top of the phone. If I hit the phone, the microphone pops out. Well, that's not too bad, right? It looked better before, yes, I know. But I had to straighten it. And flatten it. Because I want it to be a nice projectile. Yeah. All right, so I do like it better now. And all I got to do is pressure flake it. I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, and it will be in the auction as a paleo. I'll deepen this, and I'll just pressure flake it to be sharp. And it'll be like a plain view. You know, a Clovis without a flute. Because we don't need no stinking flutes. Yeah. Okay, let's just get this. Oh, should I do it? Yeah, I need to get rid of some of that cortex. Let's see if I can do it. I'll stick this in the Broken bifaces too. But only after I flatten it. And get rid of that cortex or the patina or the rind on the outside. And then I gotta do some more bifaces tonight, although I don't feel like it. Those challenge pieces got me frazzled. Yeah. And I spent time this week trying to catch up on sleep, so again, a lot of my back orders have not been completed. But I hate coming down with the colds or whatever, because I didn't get enough sleep. You know, I'll come down with a cold, but it won't be as severe. That's what I'm worried about. Cold weather is coming, and everyone is a bunch of dum-dums, and they start spreading their colds because they didn't bundle up. Yeah. Flu season. That sort of thing. And it's back order season. Okay. Dang it. Took another bite out of crime. Yeah, it's criminal how these rocks behave. Criminal behavior. I don't know, this one's going to be a challenge. Funny how that works. It's all kind of warped. Yeah, I can thin it down if I do it right. That's the thing. If I'm all frazzled, I don't see where I should be striking. Wait a second. This has a whole different consistency and way of napping than the other one. This one is actually good. I'm tiptoeing with this one, and I shouldn't be tiptoeing. Tiptoeing means you get incomplete flakes. Yeah, I can hit this one like I mean it. Yeah, and I don't have to worry about no overshot. That would have been an overshot for sure with the other material. Yeah, no doubt in my mind. I can hit this stuff super hard by comparison, and it doesn't even crush the edge. Yeah. Should I have more of this stuff for the big pieces? Oh yes. The only challenge on this one was it's kind of twisted. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, this has some flexibility to it. The terminations are nice. I need to make about 10 more of these little bifaces, but I don't know if I have time. Why so many? I like to have bifaces available for points, so that I don't have to make a biface before I make a point. Yeah, it is efficient if you already have bifaces available. You want to go outside and make a point and start napping, it's better if you already have biface. Oh yeah. Or preform, even better. Preform is already moving toward the shape that you want. A biface is just a biface. Just napped on both sides. It's not really headed toward the shape that you want. Not necessarily. It could be, but the purpose of making a biface is just to get it ready for further shaping. Bifaces are crude and rude. Yeah. Even though they might have nice flaking on them, they're still relatively crude and rude. Now, if you have a biface with exceptionally good flaking on it, you might be able to trade it for something, and those are called trade blanks. You go, I'll trade you this. It don't have no step fractures like you're napping. So, you want it? I'll trade you for something. Yeah. All right. Trade blank. Oh, dang it. Yep, I'm starting to reach the limits of my ability. Which means I got to be more careful. Okay. Oh yeah, nice. That was nice. Did it do it? Come on. Yes. I hear a bird outside my door. What are the birds doing up? This one has a sheen to it. See that? Stop messing with it. I'm already tired. And tired messes with the subtleties, and they'll start to bite you. Yeah, the little tweaks are not going to be as good. They'll get you. You'll end up with little step fractures. At least I do. If I don't have the right amount of energy, if I don't pace myself, I don't nap all that well when I'm exhausted. Come on. And when they start to get thin, these flakes look like they're getting sticky. Yeah. It's not one thing, it's another. It's not all crackly. It's all sticky. All right. See, these terminations will stick right there. They're not supposed to be that sticky. What is up with that? It's probably because it's not convex right there. Yeah, that's it. Dang it. I hit into a concave area. That's why they're sticky right there. What was I thinking? Well, the issue is probably not thinking at all, which can be bad, yes. Even though I've been telling everyone, you don't need to think about too much. Yeah, you do need to think about it sometimes. I'll leave it at that. It can be finished off with pressure. Yeah, no sense in making it thinner than that because you'll break it. When you want to use it, you go hunting with it and it bumps up against a branch and you break it if it's super thin. You don't want that. Someone will say, they'll be watching you pull back the bow. You'll have a broken tip on your arrowhead and they'll go, wait, what is that? Did you make it with that break in the tip? Make fun of you. No. Looks like you did because that tree you passed napped that tip off really nicely. I didn't know you could use trees for Flintknapping. Yeah. Dang it. You can use a tree for Flintknapping. It just doesn't look pretty. Nope. Alright, so I'm going to nap this one on a different video. I think I have plans for this one. Right? Flake scars show up really nice. I got other ideas for that one. Alright, so that's good enough for this video. Yep. Where's the results? This one, and this one. I didn't break any. Amazing. Man, we'll just leave it there. Just leave it. Now comes my favorite part, the photography. Oh, I love it. Really? No. I don't love it. I just say that because I hate it. But, I'd rather do this than to spend time trying to figure out what to do for a thumbnail by capturing a part of the video. I'd rather already have a picture. Yeah, so these two, the biggest one and the small one, these are going into the broken bifaces. And I'm going to make a paleo looking lanceolate out of this and put it in the auction. This one I'll do it on a different video after the auction. Yeah. This one I'm just going to pressure flake it to completion. And maybe a couple more percussion flakes somewhere. Yeah. All right. I would say this is fun, or this was fun, but I'd be lying. But yeah, it was a good challenge. Alrighty. There you go. That's it.